Hey, everyone wanted to talk about something that piqued my interest, and that is Disney Lorcana, the trading card game. We got to see a preview of a couple cards here. This was announced just a little bit ago, being developed by Ravensburger. I'm using an article from Polygon here. Reading their article, I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. So Ravensburger, according to them, is a 139-year-old game publisher, and I actually own their Disney Villainous series. It's a family kind of board strategy game. Very interesting. You play as all the Disney villains, and you kind of have your own realm that you play in. So you do play against other players at the table because you use heroes from their game to fate them. So, for example, if I'm playing as Jafar, someone can stop me from achieving my goal of, controlling the lamp and controlling the genie by putting Aladdin out on the board or Jasmine out on the board. It's a really fun game. I really love it. I'm a bit of a Disney honk myself. I'm really fond of the Renaissance era. And of course, I'm a Final Fantasy trading card game player, as well as I, like Magic and some of the others. And so I was pretty interested when I heard about these cards. Just kind of wanted to take a brief look at them. This is currently scheduled to be released next year in fall of 2023. I believe it is called The First Chapter, if I'm not mistaken. I think they say that in this article here. We don't have a ton of rules yet, what the kind of mechanics will be or anything like that. So, of course, I can't tell you, oh, these cards are strong, they're good, whatever. Just wanted to react to the artwork as well as just kind of their design. So we have 6 are showing off here: Stitch, Elsa, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Robin Hood, and Maleficent. Maleficent is one of my favorite villains to play as in Villainous, as well as Captain Hook. He's very strong, very consistent, probably one of the best ones. So, looking at the cards, what do we got? Pretty good artwork. I do like this artwork. I particularly like that Hook. His eyes cannot be seen. I just like that pose that he's holding the lantern out, and you just can, you can see the smile and the mustache from underneath the hat, but you can't actually see his eyes. I do appreciate that. I'm assuming this is all original artwork. I've never seen it before. It shows you down in the lower left-hand corner who the artists are. So Maleficent looks like Luis Huerta, and Marcel Berg looks like did Captain Hook, which is nice if you've played Villainous or if you know anything about Villainous. They do really good job with the artwork in that game as well. They will basically take images from the movie. So, Gaston has one where he's on top of the Beast Castle, and it's Bella's mine, and it's raining, and he's got his broken piece of the castle that he's trying to strike with. But they put their own kind of little artistic flair on it, so you're getting the scene from the movie, but it still feels original because of the way they do the artwork in that game. I am digging the artwork for this. Looks really good. Like most trading card games, I'm curious to know, will we get foils? Will we get shinies? Or, I don't know what else, other versions they're called, but a card that has kind of a foilness to it and it shines. It's hologram, holographic card, something like that. So presumably the cost of these cards is going to be in the upper left-hand corner. Maleficent looks huge at a 9. It looks like they have an attack and defense value, so I'm getting Magic the Gathering vibes. Hearthstone is actually what I think this is going to be the most like. That's my prediction. We'll see if I'm correct. Hearthstone is very successful. It's an online client. It's also very straightforward. I remember the first time I played Hearthstone, everything was immediately understandable to me. The 2 power values, the cost, etc. Again, with only these 6 cards, if you're a Final Fantasy fan or a Magic fan, we have resource generators in those games. Final Fantasy has backups that you can dull to create CP, which helps you pay for costs like these. Magic has lands you can put out. You can tap them to create the costs. I'm curious if it will use a system like that, or if, again, I kind of think it'll be like Hearthstone, where maybe you just naturally gain, energy or crystals or Disney power or whatever they want to call it. For this one, Captain Hook obviously looks a lot weaker at only a 1 and a 2, but he also only costs 1, so that makes sense. And then you have, if you played Final Fantasy, so you have their name here, Maleficent, Monstrous Dragon. I'm assuming this one, the Monstrous Dragon or the Forceful Duelist for Captain Hook, I'm assuming that's more just kind of flavor text. I would be surprised if this has relevance to the game. What I think would have relevance is underneath this, you can see an image to the left, and as well as a type: Storyborn, Villain, Dragon; Dreamborn, Villain, Pirate, Captain. If we look at Elsa and Cruella de Vil, Storyborn, Villain. Now, maybe I'm biased because of the Final Fantasy trading card game, but in that game, right there where this line of text would be, is where you have your job. And jobs are incredibly relevant in Final Fantasy, not only in the game lore, but as well as in the card game lore, that if you control so many job ninjas, do such and such. So many job samurais, do such and such. So I'm inclined to think that is what will happen here. Again, who knows? Still early. I wonder if these symbols, too, will indicate a type. Like maybe she's a beater or a tank or attacker. Maybe he's means duelist. Maybe Elsa is support with this symbol. I don't know. Maybe it's just flavor. Maybe it's just there to be, interesting. So like Hook says challenger +2. When challenging, this character gets +2 attack is what I'm assuming that is. So perhaps challenger makes two characters fight each other. Who knows? There are these little symbols to the right. I'm a bit curious to know what those are. So Maleficent has two, one to denote the top part and then the kind of lore flavor text. But Hook doesn't have one down there. Same with Elsa. She just has one. So perhaps they indicate some sort of power? I'm not sure. We'll see. So Elsa says exert. Chosen opposing... I can't talk. Exert chosen opposing character. And it says freeze. Maybe, and it's kind of showing a tilted symbol. In Magic or Final Fantasy, that would be tap it or dull it. So perhaps Elsa's doing that as well. That would be kind of thematic too. So usually that means, a creature can't block because you kind of push it out of the way. Cruella de Vil, you'll be sorry. When this character is challenged and banished, you may return chosen character to their player's hands. When she stops by, misery is company. Recreated by magical ink, Elsa found herself in an unfamiliar new world. Fortunately, ice works the same way everywhere. So that implies that this is almost lore just specifically for this game, that Elsa woke up in the world of Lorcana and kind of gives a little bit about her. He loves to make light of a foe's predicament. Bring me Peter Pan! The 9th rule of villainy. When all else fails, turn into a dragon. Maleficent's such a cool character. Very interesting. Let's take a look down here at Stitch and Robin Hood. Robin Hood is, there's one of the starting villains in Villainous Prince John. Robin Hood is his greatest nemesis. He's a 6-cost, an unrivaled archer, naturally, and of course he's a hero. 4/4, feed the poor. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you, draw a card. The most common effect in the Final Fantasy game is a when it enters the field effect, so this sounds similar when you play this character. Assume it's an instant the moment it comes out. Good shot. During your turn, this character has evasive. They can challenge characters with evasive. So this challenge is on 3 cards, it looks like so far. So that must be a pretty key part of the game. I wonder if that's going to be some kind of keyword concept, like a spell, or if it just means when they fight in battle. So when I go to, presumably I'll have an attack phase, and if I say attack, and if you block with someone, maybe that's a challenge, or maybe I get to determine it. Maybe it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! You get to choose which of your monsters, your opponents, you wish to attack. So maybe it's like that. I challenge this character. And perhaps evasive means they're hard to pick or you can't pick them at all. I don't know. Interesting. What does Stitch do here? Shift 4. You may pay 4 to play this on top of one of your Stitch characters. Interesting. Stitch characters. Adoring fans, whenever you play a character with cost 2 or less, you may exert it to draw a card. Exert probably meaning dull or a tap. Again, so maybe there is some kind of mana system. You play a character, you immediately dull it, and you draw a card. Or maybe that's just saying, again, in other games, or at least in Magic and Final Fantasy, if you dull or tap a creature or a forward, you can't block with it. So it being dull means it can't attack, it can't block, etc. So perhaps that's going to be here. So in Final Fantasy, there's a uniqueness rule that if I have a character named Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, or Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, Tidus from Final Fantasy X, if he's on the field, I can't have another one of those named characters. I cannot have another Tidus, another Cloud, even if it's a different card entirely. So I'm curious about Stitch's ability. If you can play multiple Stitches, can you play multiple Robin Hoods? Is it more like Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh, you can play 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Magic, you can play 3 Writhing Necromasses, anything like that. Anyway, it's still early, of course. Very little information is given, but I just wanted to come on. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Mickey, of course. Mickey, good old Mickey Mouse. Ha ha! Look, I've got a great card. Oh boy. So Mickey is an 8-cost, 5/5, brave little tailor. Evasive, only characters with evasive can challenge this character. Maybe evasive, too, is kind of something like flying. In Magic the Gathering, there's a keyword called flying, which, like a bird, it flies over the battle. And in order to even block it or attack it, you have to have either another creature with flying or an ability called Reach to get there. So, and he's got 4 of those marks. So very curious. Maybe those will tie into ability somehow. I don't know. Very interesting. So again, I'm not going to say a whole lot more because it's just so early. This game's a full year away. However, I would absolutely love to cover it on this channel. I love playing Villainous. I like trading card games in general, and they just look really neat. And, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think it'll be like Hearthstone. Ravensburger hasn't let me down the little I've played of them, which, granted, is mainly just Villainous. I think I got their Gargoyles game yet as well, but I just haven't got a chance to play it yet. So let me know what you think. Would you be interested in me covering some more? Any particular characters you're interested in? My friend Chris Adams said that, oh, man, I can't wait to play an aerial thingamabob control deck. I don't know if that'll be a thing. I have a feeling because it's Disney, this will err more on the side of casual than super competitive. Again, something like Hearthstone that is easier to get into. Maybe that's not casual to get into from like a price standpoint, but I imagine this will be a less complicated card game. Could be wrong. Maybe there'll be the stack and chains and everything else you could think of. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, take care.